Hey there, everyone. It is Adam Biter here for episode 11 of Adam and Peyton's Album Talks. And we had a little bit of a week off last week. Just a lot of things were happening and going on, and it's great that things are starting to get back on track. Yes, I am right now. Perfect. Yep. Started, yeah. So hopefully that should work. Hopefully he joins. Hello, Allison. Hi. This week we're doing a great Pink Floyd album. And Pink Floyd, their albums range in length from like 5 songs to 26 songs. So this was a fun one, though. A really fun one. I'm just gonna have to see. Yeah. Yes, I am ready. Hopefully he joins, and well, I think this should work. Let's see. Alright, well, in the meantime, how is everybody's week going? No, I don't want... I started it. See... Oh, hold on one second. Live? Am I still live? Is it still going on? Okay. Should still be going. Alrighty. What kind of music everyone been listening to? I've become pretty much obsessed with Jacob Collier. He's like my all-time favorite right now. No, that's not... No. You need to join the thing. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, sorry to say, we're having some difficulties. I think he just tried to start a video chat with me. That's, hold on. I don't, I gotta tell him, 1 second. He'll be here soon. I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting. Yeah, sorry. But put any album recommendations you might have in the comments if you want, or just if you've been listening to any cool music lately, can tell us about it. I wonder if I can still go and tell him that that'll work. Kodak Black, is that by who am I thinking of? Is that Cardi B? Did I get that right? I can't remember. I definitely have heard of that, though, before. Good suggestion. Yeah, wow. What is going on? Whew. We need to figure this out. No, I don't have to invite him. He has to join first. Okay, sorry to disappear again. That hopefully it should be going soon. I think it will. Sorry for the difficulties at first. Yeah, he's gonna join. Okay, perfect, awesome. What? I missed a call from him. He has to join. Oh, there he is. Okay, invite. Okay, great. Alrighty, here we go. Okay. Hi, Peyton.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
And look, your video's here. So it
Oh,
works on
really?
my end again. Yeah, it
Oh,
works.
well,
Yep.
I
It's
can't see
working.
it.
Yay. You can't? Well, don't worry. I can
Oh,
see your video on my end, so don't worry.
all right, good. All right.
That means our viewers will be able to see it as well.
Starts.
Well, sorry to keep you
Like
waiting,
it?
Allie, but yeah, here we are. Ready to
Yeah, ready to
discuss
get started.
Animals by Pink Floyd, huh? This
Yes,
was your suggestion, Peyton. I really like
yes.
this one.
This is a fun one. But it's a very conceptually driven one. as well. It's kind
Oh
of
yeah.
like Wish
But
You
I
Were
love the
Here
composition,
in a
especially
way.
since especially since I read the book already. I understand the album a lot better than I would if I had not read the book.
Well, I mean, he kind of takes the ideas of Animal Farm. It's not a direct
Yeah,
retelling
it's
of
not
it.
plot driven as much as I thought it would be. Like I thought it was going to
No,
get more like specific, like Napoleon and Snowball and Boxer and Squealer and
no, no.
all
Oh,
those different characters.
sorry.
I thought it was going to be plot driven, like The Wall is plot driven. Uh, I mean, The Wall had a lot more songs on it too. It had like
Yeah,
I love that too. The
not so
Pink Floyd
much.
albums range in length from like 5 songs to 26 songs. It's amazing. It's just
Uh,
kind of funny
well,
to
the
think about.
Wall was a double LP. That was a rock opera. This is more of just kind of a concept
Yeah,
album.
this was a single LP, and even though it only had 5 songs, it was still pretty long because the three
Yeah,
main
uh,
the three main body songs. I almost think of this like an essay with there's an introduction and a conclusion and 3 body paragraphs. That's what it reminded me of.
and maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe
Who
you
knows?
never know. But anyway,
But
this was this one that was pretty much all written by Roger Waters, like The Wall.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
David Gilmour
This
helped him with Dogs, though. Is that correct?
I think
'Cause-
so. Yeah. Here,
Yeah,
let
David
me.
Gilmour is a great writer too, because he helped write "Comfortably Numb" and "Young Lust," and a lot of the
Yeah.
good songs on "The Wall" he helped to write.
I decided to try something a little different. I actually have the lyrics brought up on my computer right
Oh, good,
now, so
because the
that
lyrics are
way
so important in this
we
in
can
this
dissect
for
them
this
a little
album.
bit. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I
that's a
figured
good strategy.
this one is definitely more concept driven and very thematically interesting throughout the whole. Not only the music is obviously top notch, but the lyrics are very introspective and deep too.
Yeah,
Much like a lot of their other albums, I get it. Maybe that's why this one tends to get lost in the shuffle sometimes. But I
right.
think it's still a very seminal Pink Floyd album. Maybe
Yeah,
it gets shadowed by The Wall. I don't know, but
yeah, because once they came out with The Wall, I mean that one just broke all the records
well,
and
well, the
just
first one,
captivated people so well.
yeah, the first one that happened with was obviously 6 years earlier with The Dark Side of the Moon, and that put them
Yeah,
really on the map. And then The Wall just kind of broke the barriers a little bit more.
yeah,
But yeah, so why don't we get started right away? Is that good to you?
sounds great. Yeah,
Right. Okay, so first we have well, this is one of 2 songs that kind of bookend the entire thing. So,
yeah, I like that. I like
on the
the way they
way,
did that.
part 1.
Pigs on the
And
Wing.
yeah,
Yeah.
both
Oh, this is a
both of
great song
them. Yeah,
because
it
it's like
is. It
acoustic
is.
and it's just a
Yeah.
nice way to start and end the album, and it uses this really clever framing technique. And by the time you wrap back around, you're like, I can't believe I just got through all that, and now it comes back to this same musical idea, like
Mhm.
in the most unexpected way.
It
It's a
up the
really
story.
great framing device. And it's also interesting. Well, I guess that's in the second part, so I'll get to that when we get. I was going to talk about the lyrics of the second part, but never mind. But
Well, that's
it's just
okay.
kind of funny. It's a great song. It's a great way to start it off.
It is. I mean, both of the Pigs on the Wing segments are like only like 1.5 minutes long, but they still kind of
Yeah,
fill so much. Oh dear.
they
I'm
certainly
sorry.
do.
It's one of the cats.
That's okay.
I gotta let her out. I closed my door. Oh
Oh,
wait,
that's
no.
all
No,
right.
she's out. Never mind. I forgot. I
Okay,
left it
good.
open a crack. She's fine.
I'm glad the cats are doing all right.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get as much attention because we got this weird schooling thing. I know it's
I've heard
strange,
you.
isn't it? I
It's
don't
very strange, but
I don't
I'm
like
I'm
it.
I'm, I'm
I
excited
already
for what
don't
the
like
future
it.
holds. I mean, I don't know, but I'm kind of excited for what the future holds. I mean, it's full of mystery, but something really beautiful might come out of it in the end.
Who knows? I mean, some people are taking the chance to sharpen their crafts a little bit, which I've also been
Absolutely.
writing a little bit as well.
That's great.
I'm
I've been
mostly
recording
writing
a
on
lot
my
and writing
books
a lot.
because
What?
I'm mostly writing on the books because I read them all and I kind of
Oh
procrastinated
yeah.
on a couple of the writing
I
assignments.
finished the last one today, so that was
Which one did you finish?
I did When Breath Becomes Air last. When Breath Becomes Air was actually maybe my favorite one. Except for Frankenstein. I'd say Frankenstein was my
I
favorite.
think I liked the ones where you got a choice because
Yeah.
both of them are probably very more. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah. And like Sing Unburied Sing was alright. I just couldn't really get into it. Like I didn't have the right momentum for it when I
It was
read
a
it.
tough.
Like
It was a tough read at certain points. I'm
I mean,
like,
like I get how it's really good. It just wasn't like super enjoyable for me. Like it certainly is
I'm
very
gonna have
well
a
written.
tough time
It's
with.
just not my style. Like
Yeah.
the magical realism just was like, you know.
Well, that's why I had Man's Search for Meaning. That one is one I can't really call magical realism because it was real. It actually
It was
happened.
all real, yeah. How was that one? I didn't get to read it solely because I couldn't find it at Barnes and
It's
Noble,
a
and then I found When
marvelous.
Breath Becomes Air, and I'm like, okay, I'll just read this one.
You know, and if you ever meet someone with, I'm not saying this is going to solve it, but if you ever meet someone who's like really down and depressed, I think there's one thing that he repeats in here. I think it's like a quote from a famous author. I forget who it is, but
Oh yeah.
uh, it says, uh, "As long as you have a who or what in your life, you can get through almost any how." Or maybe it's the
Wow.
opposite.
That's
But
good advice. A
yeah,
who or a what?
because it's all about searching for the meaning of life. Really, is what it is. I mean, it's
Um,
different for everybody. It's
as
what he
long as you have a
essentially
purpose that can
does.
guide you through. Yeah, that's really good advice. Love it.
Mhm. I'm trying to describe that as best I can. I am really not that good at
That's
describing
all right.
things. I write
That's
them
okay.
down. That's why I prefer the conversation with it. That's why I'm so sad that we're split up for most of the year. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. We should be talking about Pink
That's okay.
Floyd. I'm
That's all
sorry.
right. I
But
love
anyway,
tangents. It's all right. What?
yeah. But anyway, Pigs on the Wing Part 1 is a nice little beginning part to this. It
Intro.
gives
Yeah,
you kind of like an introduction to the story.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
then comes Dogs. I would say this was my favorite on the album.
Dogs is that's the
Yeah.
longest one on here. It's 17 minutes.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so good. It's just you have these really like well crafted verses and like
Yes.
just superb guitar solos from David Gilmour. I mean these guitar solos are really what give this album so much life. I mean he just brings so much artistry to the guitar. He reminds me in his playing a lot of Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits.
A little bit, yeah. In a
Yeah.
way, I can kind of see that. I don't know, maybe on like the like Money for Nothing kind of. I don't know.
Yeah,
Would you say
probably, yeah.
it reminds you of that
But yeah,
style, or is it more
I
like
mean, it
Walk of
goes,
Life?
yeah. I mean, it goes on for like 17 minutes, and somebody in the YouTube comment section was saying only Pink Floyd can make a 17-minute song feel like 3 minutes, and like that's so true. Like they just make it pass by so effortlessly, and they just gradually drag you along with their music, and it feels so nice. I thought this was
It,
going to be like a really hard angsty album, but honestly, I mean, as far as Pink Floyd goes, this is not that hard and angsty. Like it's
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 very
very it's actually
soothing.
very gentle. Like I was able to listen to this and like really feel relaxed and really feel at home
Well,
and
that's good.
things, even though the subject matter is very depressing with the whole social stratification thing and the whole
Well, yeah.
totalitarianism thing.
Well, yeah, and the dogs are kind of like representative of like the. I don't think he really wanted to show totalitarianism in this, though. I think he wanted to show the ethics of capitalism because there is a capitalist system in Britain. I'm
In
pretty
Britain,
sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Although it's
as
interesting
well as
because
the
this,
U.S.
I
But
mean, he drew on Animal Farm as an influence, which was essentially a critique of communism. So kind of differing systems there, but
yes,
uh,
but the similar, a similar, a common ground in terms of allegory. That
yeah,
is. But yeah, it
he probably
starts
had a
off
lot of
so.
problems with both sides.
Hmm. I mean, listen, there's gonna be problems in any walk of life. My life ain't perfect. I know yours isn't. Ours is probably better than a lot of other people's, or a lot where I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're all just people sometimes. I think that's what we forget. We like to put people in castes or
Yeah.
classes.
So the dogs are essentially like agents. In my point of view, the dogs are essentially like agents of control, but they don't really believe in such intense control. They're just kind of strung along and brainwashed and
Hmm.
kind of made to kill, like trained to kill and stuff, trained to police and like watch and always be surveilling and
Oh
you
God.
know silencing dissenters maybe.
Yeah, and sadly, this hits very close to home, especially now. Oh boy, you've seen the turmoil. Not very fun. I believe
No.
there is kind of a satisfying ending to this album. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah,
But
the dogs
in
is a
terms
great
of
song though, and yeah.
yeah, one of my favorite lines is, "You have to be trusted by the people that you lie to, so that when they turn your backs on you, you'll get the chance to put the knife in." It's a pretty
Yeah.
satisfying like blow to that type of lifestyle, though.
What I
I
thought
mean,
was an early example of, I mean, Pink Floyd was a huge pioneer in terms of audio effects and playing the
yeah,
studio as an instrument. I'd say the Beatles and Pink Floyd really pioneered that this style of like audio, like messing around with audio to see what you can get out of electronic composition. And what they do in this song is they sequence this "Dragged Down by the Stone" thing. After he sings the first time,
oh
"Dragged
yes,
down by the stone," and then if you listen through it through headphones, you can hear this stone, stone, stone. It
yeah,
keeps repeating
yeah.
through the whole song,
It's
basically
an
at
echo.
varying volumes and speeds. Um, and it reminded me of there's a Fish song that does a very similar thing. I think it's called "Gotta Jaboo," where they sequence a keyboard part in a similar way.
Oh, okay. So they give like an echo effect to the keyboard and
Yeah,
make it like
and then I
continue.
might be mistaken, but I believe that the stone repetend, the stone, it appears again in Sheep.
I believe
I
it
think that
does.
I could
Yes.
hear it faintly playing throughout Sheep, um, and maybe throughout
Yeah.
the whole album. I just wasn't listening for it in the Pigs three different ones.
Yeah. Maybe it's the same stone. Maybe it's a different one for each group. But it kind of
Yeah,
follows. I'm
yeah,
trying to think
exactly. Yeah,
who else did audio experimentation, because you mentioned the Beatles and Pink Floyd, but I was thinking probably Yes is another one that
yeah,
experimented a
love them. I love Yes, and
maybe
maybe I mean
even
all those progressive rock bands.
yeah. Wh- I forget if Rush did. I don't know. Maybe they did a little
Rush
bit.
probably did. I mean, they're definitely a progressive rock band, so I can imagine they forayed into that as well at some point.
That's another band we have to check out. Rush. That is one we should do.
I love Rush.
Ooh. Now
Yeah.
that you've got their compilation, you like them.
Oh yeah, I love Rush. Yeah. And there's a lot of similarities. There's so many similarities between Neil Peart and Gord Downie. They were both
Oh, really?
Canadian. They both wrote all the lyrics for their band songs. They both had really philosophical, thoughtful lyrics, and they both died from the same exact thing, a glioblastomal brain cancer.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah,
That's
so they were
sad.
kind of living dual li They were kind of living parallel lives. They kind of had a lot of similarities, even though they
And
did
they were
different
both rock
instruments.
stars.
Yes.
So there you go. I mean, I don't know. History repeats itself, I guess, sometimes in different
Yeah.
ways. All right. So, do you want to put a pin in dogs now? Then, or we should we move on
Yeah,
to
Dogs
pigs?
is
Three
great.
different
Yeah,
ones.
absolutely. I love the title of this one. I mean, he could have so easily just called it Pigs, but he calls it pigs, and then in parentheses 3 different ones, because he's trying to outline how each verse represents a different pig. And I mean, I've seen the theories online for this, and it's pretty clear that there's specific people of the day that he had in mind for each pig.
Yep. He basically describes all facets of the pig too, like how they try to be. Says you're nearly a good laugh, almost a joker, in one of the verses.
Yeah. I have no idea what he means by "you're nearly a laugh, but you're really a cry." I mean, it's an interesting idea. I'm not exactly sure what he means by that.
I'm thinking it's one of those people who like puts on a front on the outside to act like all jovial, but really downside and in the inside they're kind of suffering. I mean, we've seen that a lot with especially like comedians, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember maybe. Robin Williams?
I think you're right, yeah. So the theories that I've seen are that, well, there's one verse where he explicitly mentions the name of the person who he's critiquing, and it was Mary Whitehouse, and she was basically kind of like a censorship activist, you know, like somebody who kind of just wanted to censor everything that didn't like fit her worldview. Like she was on this like television censorship council, you know. She was a very prominent British activist of the day, and Roger Waters did not like her at all. And then,
well, I would imagine.
Yeah. I heard that the first verse was somebody named James Callahan, and that the second verse was actually Margaret Thatcher, who
really?
I don't even think she was Prime Minister of Britain yet, because it was still 1977, and I feel like she was Prime Minister in the 1980s. Or maybe there was overlap. I'm not sure. I don't know what exact years she was Prime Minister between.
Yeah, I'm not well versed in the British political scene.
It's weird that we don't learn anything about that. I mean, basically past the time that America declared independence from Britain, we don't learn anything about British politics in American schools. But yeah, I've definitely heard of Margaret Thatcher. I know that there was the movie with Meryl Streep playing Margaret Thatcher.
The Iron Lady, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and
I think my favorite line is...
Oh, my goodness.
What was it?
It's like there's like a parade of... You said Mary Whitehouse, right?
Yeah.
There's like a parade of those people online now, sadly. Seems like.
People everyone wants to censor everything.
Yeah, and you can't do that. This is America. I didn't sign up for this. Well, I didn't sign up at all, but you know what I mean. Exactly. You know what I mean.
Yeah, no, and I think he was trying to make that point, too, that even in Britain, they shouldn't have to deal with people trying to dictate what they can and cannot see.
Exactly.
On TV.
I mean, that's not really your decision to make. That's the decision of the recipient. To do what they will with it. I mean, it's like you hear one song about like a murder or something, and then somebody decides, oh, okay, well, this is telling me to go and murder people. And then they're like, oh, no, the song is bad, not the person. The person is never bad. It's the song that we have to get rid of, even if like 20 other people listened to it and it had no effect on them. I think that's a problem. That's the problem. Accountability. That is what we need. I think he even kind of touches on that in this song a little bit.
I think my favorite line from this one was house proud town mouse, because he essentially strings together 4 words that kind of rhyme in one line. I like the way he does that. I also thought it was interesting. I didn't realize that in Britain they pronounce charade charade.
I like that part of it, yeah.
I was expecting him to say, ha ha, charade you are. But he said, da ha, charade you are. It rhymes better, though. So, I mean, at least...
Yeah, and it sounds more... It sounds better, too. I mean, if we were in chorus and Mr. Zoge was asking us to say the word charade, he'd probably want us to accentuate the A a little bit, too.
Charade. It sounds bad that way, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I've been coughing a little bit.
That's okay. That's all right. I'm sure you're not. It's okay. I trust you.
Okay. So this is a pretty interesting album as far the further you get into it. And then finally, we get to the middle class. It goes down the ladder. Sheep.
Mm. I thought it actually went. Aren't pigs
Oh,
at the
really?
top, actually? I thought pigs were at
I
the top. I mean,
don't
that's how it
know.
was an Animal Farm, and I think that's also how it's supposed to be in this version too, because like
Well,
Thatcher was
maybe.
definitely on the rise up when he made this album. Like, I think I think that all the people he's describing are like these high and mighty politicians and like
Well,
public figures.
I think that the dogs are the politicians. The politicians are lower. The pigs are the ones who run it. They run the politicians. They hold the
Yeah,
chains, fixed it with collar and chain. And
well,
then the
yeah,
sheep
but
is the public.
that would make the dogs underneath the pigs, wouldn't it? Because the dogs are basically then the enforcers of the pigs' wills.
Well, wouldn't that kind of make sense? Because if you remember in the book, Napoleon held the
Had
dogs
like a
as
trained
kind of his
army of
lackeys.
dogs to put down
Yeah,
anybody who disagreed with him, basically. And they chased
exactly.
Snowball off the
Exactly.
farm.
Well, yeah, the dogs kind of are the ones who, what am I trying to say?
The
They're the
dogs are just
ones
the
who
ones,
are,
the
yeah,
mindless
they're the
enforcers.
manipulators. They're the
Yes,
enforcers, they're the
but really, they're
manipulators,
the
they're
manipulated manipulators.
backstabbers. Yeah, well, in a way, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
I
just
mean,
kind of
obviously
the
he's
dingy
trying to
people.
draw a certain amount of sympathy for the dogs. I mean, you get the idea that through this whole
Yes,
thing, it's not the dogs or the sheep that he hates; it's the pigs that he hates the most. I mean, he speaks with such
yes, yes,
gripping negative language towards the pigs, and
yeah,
with the dogs and the sheep songs, he's speaking to them like in a condescending manner, but with still a certain amount of sympathy.
yeah.
Like
He speaks
he's still,
with at the pigs almost
yeah,
very derisively, very
yeah. I
angrily.
mean, the pigs are the controlling ones. The pigs are the ones that are
Yeah, I
trying to
mean,
control everybody else, and do
I
that sort of thing.
think I think that the dogs could also just kind of be seen as like the public figures. Like not the public,
Maybe,
but
yeah.
the figures like celebrities,
Like
the
celebrities,
politicians. Yeah,
activists.
yeah, oh my god. Yes.
Yeah,
Activists
yeah.
want to
Really, I
say
think of activists as more intelligent and more independent than celebrities, but yeah,
well yeah, I mean they're all educated differently. Everybody is going to learn differently. I think that's the problem with school. You're forcing everyone to go to a similar place when everyone learns differently. Honestly, I think
exactly.
I've learned
That's the
more
joy of.
during this time in quarantine than I have in the last few years of school. I don't want to say that because it's not a complete waste of time. You should send some of your kids to school, if not all of them. But
Yeah, I know what you
it's
mean.
a different experience for everyone. So yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, sheep. Now that we finally gotten to it,
yeah.
um, this is the general
So
public. I think very
yeah,
unquestioning, very
the mass is able to be brainwashed. I mean, it does draw
hello.
the question, like, I mean, how brainwashable really is the public these days? And then you see some things that convince you, yeah,
Oh,
oh yeah, they'll fall for anything, and then you see some other things where like, no, they're independent. They do whatever they want. They don't listen to the government all the time. They don't
yeah.
they're free thinking. They have their own minds.
Well, sometimes it's for the greater good, sometimes not. Because you see, like when the government told us all to wear masks, and then you had these people are saying, "Hell no, I ain't wearing a mask. It goes against my rights." You know,
And there's just some things
it
where
doesn't
it's
really
like
makes.
it's really just a matter of safety. And like I know that it stinks that the government has to tell you to do it, but at the same
Hmm.
time, like you don't want to die and you don't want to get your loved ones dying. So like you just have to
Well,
do it not because anybody told you to, but just because it's human decency.
and I think the controversy comes from really there's a lack of trust because we're hearing about all these fake news media sites, and now the government's telling us, and we don't even know if we should trust them or not because there's a lot of crooked politicians out there. There are a lot of good ones, granted, but I mean, it's just kind of difficult. I mean, maybe this is kind of a way to represent that too.
Yeah. I mean, this is undoubtedly one of the most political albums we've reviewed so
Yeah,
far.
that's kind of
I mean, I
why I
can't think of
wanted
any
to
that are
tackle
really at this level in term of political statement. I mean, the closest thing
sophistication.
I can think is that one track on Glass Houses by Billy Joel, Close to the Borderline. That was also very political.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But that was also more poppy, very.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, I mean, what did you think of this one? Did you like
Oh,
it as
she.
well as the other two,
It's,
or was it?
actually, probably not quite as well as the other two. I feel like Dogs and Pigs, Three Different Ones, are where the album really shines. And of course,
Well,
the
yeah.
bookends are nice too, except they're not very long, so I don't think about them as much.
Well, that's kind of their point. They're there to introduce the story and end
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
story, kind of make it all run full circle.
Yes.
But
Absolutely.
now, in terms of the structure of this album, do you think the sheep are kind of bowing to the dogs or the pigs?
I think they're
I don't
probably
know.
bowing to the dogs, but really the dogs are being directly controlled by the pigs, like puppet masters. So, I mean, they're indirectly bowing to the will of the pigs. They're bowing to the will of the pigs through the enforcement of the dogs.
Huh. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Well, I mean, nobody likes to be told what to do all the time, though. There's always going to be pushback, even with even with some of the sheep that want to stray from the pen every
Yeah.
now and again.
And what I found most interesting about this one is that at the end, there's kind of like a talking section near the end where he's like, "Have you heard the news? The dogs are dead. You better do as you're told and stay out of the road unless you want to uh
Grow
unless you want
old.
to live. Grow old." Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it almost gives you the idea that maybe there's um of maybe like having like a riot or like a rise up or an insurrection maybe or like a rebellion um of the sheep rebelling against the dogs, when in reality it's really the pigs that they have to, you know, triumph over in order to be free. But they end up attacking the dogs.
I know, and this is it fits so well with our current situation. That's kind of why I wanted to do it, because I knew that parts of this I could connect to the
They
here and
definitely
now.
echo very, yeah, they definitely
It's
resound,
sad,
with our
but
current position.
true. It's true. And you know what? Sometimes I think music is one of the best mediums in order to speak the truth. I mean,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
it's most of it's going to be biased. Like, not everybody's going to believe all of
Yeah,
this.
but
You
that's fine. I
can't
mean, it's an art
make
form. It doesn't
them
have
believe
to be
it.
neutral. I mean, the
Exactly.
news, when you're reporting the news, it has to be neutral, but art does not have to be neutral. I mean,
Oh,
if the person making it has an opinion, then by all means they should integrate their opinion with the art they're making.
I think that's the problem with the news now. It isn't neutral. There's going to be
Yeah.
one side that's going to
That's
be
the problem.
vilified, and the other
The
side is
news
going to
is
be
biased and the
praised.
art is neutral.
I know, and that's why everybody wants to escape to it. Why do you think we're seeing so many people who want to be like authors and musicians and artists? I mean, it's an escape.
It
Not
is.
always the best escape, but it's an escape. It's
Yeah.
an escape
I
for
mean,
me too.
when we were listening to Allentown one day, my dad was like, "When was the last time like an actually like really good political song was
Hmm.
was written?" Because he was thinking about all these great political songs that Billy Joel wrote,
Oh.
and the other artists of his day, like
Everyone's
Pink Floyd, um, and that's just missing. Like for
well.
all the politics going around in our world, you'd think that somebody would think to write some songs about
Wait.
it, at least to give a new perspective on it, or to integrate it with the arts, at least.
I I did hear like there was a Beyonce song that I heard that kind of touched on.
Well,
She touched
like,
on like the beauty of being black, which
yeah.
okay, but you can't reach everybody with that because unfortunately, I'm sorry, everyone is not a black woman. I mean,
Well, I
they
think
are
that like
oppressed and
Alicia
they need a
Keys
voice.
makes pretty good political songs when you think about like some of her more. Didn't she do a song called "Rise Up"?
She
Maybe
might
I'm
have.
thinking,
I don't know if I've heard of that one.
but I know she had oh yeah, the song that she just did, Underdogs. That's a great political song. I sing the song for the hustlers trading at the bus stop, young teachers, student doctors, sons on the front lines knowing they don't get to run, young teachers, student doctors, single mothers waiting on a check to come, young teachers. And I just looped it back around and I sang the same line 3 times in a row. I don't remember the exact chorus, but it's definitely a political song, and it's a good song too. I really like that song.
It sounds like it could kind of connect to the theme we're doing. But anyway, let's finish off the album too, because Pigs on the Wing Part 2 kind of brings it all full circle, but it also gives you a chance to think about it too.
Yeah. So the most
Because,
interesting line
yeah.
from the whole album, in my perspective, came from this song because at the end he says, "And any fool knows a dog needs a home, a shelter from pigs on a wing." And I realized that he thinks of himself as a dog in this universe, in this social class universe that he's created for this concept album. Um, he thinks of himself as one of these public figures that's being used to enforce law and order and conformity, and he really doesn't like that vision of himself, maybe, so he's writing to rid himself of those visions of himself, maybe. That's
It
just my
could
take on
be.
it.
I mean, this was a little before he started coming up with the ideas for the wall, so and I mean, not a lot of people were obviously listening to all of what he was trying to say. Did you hear how he decided to come up with the idea for the wall? There's
Wasn't it
like this,
because of it
yeah,
was it was kind of a mixture of things. It was some of his concert experiences, and then it was also like Sid Barrett, their former
yes,
band leader,
yes.
just kind of had a mental health crisis and broke down and couldn't lead the band anymore, and he was inspired by that story, sort of.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean, I
that's
know
where
that the
Wish
wall is
came from.
primarily about mental health and the sanity of the individual and how they choose to
That's
interact
true.
with society. This is very different than that. This is mostly a sociological thing, whereas the wall is really mostly about the individual, and it's not really very political at all. It's solely a glimpse into the psyche of the individual and what
It
fame
gets a
does.
little political, like when
A little
he
bit. Oh yeah,
goes.
with the section near the end with "Run Like Hell" and where they start like kind of like becoming like a dictatorship and like sliding into Nazism and that sort of thing.
Well,
It's always
it's
kind of like
not
a weird fantasy
specific.
sequence though.
Yeah, it doesn't specifically reference the Nazi Party, but we get like the fascist image.
Yeah, you get the
You
idea
know, the
from it,
people walking.
especially since his father was killed in World War II, and like you get the idea that consciousness of World War II is permeating the whole album.
I mean, and we found a new tragedy to put all our sadness and despair into. I mean, 9/11 was a big event that kind of
I'm sure
rocked the world.
there's going to be a lot of like things
I
down
mean,
the
we were
road
born.
that are indirect results of this. I mean, you think about The Wall came out in 1979. It was taught about how a kid was forever impacted by his father's death in a war that had ended 35 years ago.
And his overprotective mother,
And and his awful
his
schoolmaster and thing, and a lot of things, you know,
he was very
a lot of
distant with his
factors.
wife and
But that was
stuff
like
as a
the first
result.
major. It was pretty obvious that that was like the first major one. Like they started with Another Brick in the Wall Part 1, which was about his dad dying across the ocean in the war, and then that
Yeah,
was where they really like that was where his isolation from society really began to grow at such a young age.
I find it kind of ironic. We went in trying to talk about animals, and we ended up talking about the wall too.
Yeah,
So I guess we
that's
don't need to
okay.
cover it now.
It's
I
the
guess we
same
don't need to
band.
cover it.
We can make connections and relations and talk about it. It's fine.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I like that you brought that up because I mean I guess he does see himself as a dog because yeah he is a public figure. He's a musician. He kind of put himself out there. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of a fear too. Not everyone wants to put themselves out there, which is
Absolutely.
kind of tough not to when you've got social media and everything. I mean, we're on it right now, so
Yes, we are.
Did I just break the system or something? Did I just say
That's
something that
okay.
broke it all apart?
Broke the fourth wall is what you did.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be expensive
Am I
out
being
there.
watched? Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway, well,
but
overall, I feel like
I
that was a great
think
album.
yes. It like I said, it does tend to get a little stuck in the shuffle because "Wish You Were Here" was such a big album, especially now. It wasn't
And
so
The
much
Wall
when it
was
came out
such a
with
big
music.
album
The
too.
Wall was a big
Built
album.
out of that one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But I think that they all kind of are important in their own special
absolutely.
ways.
Especially when
Dark Side.
considering the larger picture of the Pink Floyd canon. I mean, this inflatable pig motif became like kind of like a staple of their live concerts, and just kind
Yes,
of a symbol that was
yes.
instantly associated with the band. And it's a funny story about how they tried to create the cover by doing it all in one shot, but instead of flying over the Battersea Power Station like it was supposed to, the pig flew onto an airport and delayed a bunch of flights. It was kind of funny. So they ended up just having to
Well,
take a picture of the pig separately and then superimposing it onto a picture of the power station.
oh, okay. So that's how they got the effect. I kind of assume. I thought it might have been like a model or something too, because it doesn't look as realistic if you look at it. But of course, it is superimposed and everything. So I
Right.
mean, yeah,
But they wanted to originally make an actual shot of a real pig balloon flying over a power station.
yeah. I think a little too complicated. Sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta
Especially back
make
then. I mean, now you could probably hire a big crew to just like have a giant
a
crane
green
and
screen.
suspend it on wires and something, and you could make that shot really easily. And,
Oh, that would
but
be too. That would be too
part of the
expensive.
thing back then is that back then it was just more common to make mistakes, and you just had to deal with that.
That could be another thing. Everyone wants to make everything so perfect now, but there is
Right. Yeah.
perfect. There's perfection and imperfection too.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah.
what would you give the rating of the album as a whole? Because now that we've
Probably a
gone
9
through
out of
every
10.
facet of it,
I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. It was good. I feel like what was missing is more of that plot-driven conceptual rock that I really fell in love with during The Wall. Is that The Wall was it drew a clear plot line from start to finish, and this was mostly just consisted of like three major psychedelic epics that outline three different social classes. And like, I mean, it was nice, and they were all great songs, but I was missing that plot-driven formula that they had used for The Wall, or that they would
I
later
mean,
use.
it doesn't exist on all of their albums. I mean, they have "Wish You Were Here" has certain motifs that kind of connect
Yeah.
to each other, but it's kind of like this, very similar because they both have 5 songs on them. That's
Right.
another one we'll have to find someday. But as for my rating, I would give it like a 9.2 out of 10. Still
Cool.
very good, very up there in the rating.
Absolutely. A
Okay.
great album.
All right. So that was number 11. You believe
Yeah,
it?
I can't believe it. Wow. I'm up
Number
for doing
11.
this again next week as long as you are. I don't know what album we do. I know you had wanted to do
We're doing
the Huey
4.
Lewis album.
Yeah, we're doing
4.
4
I'd
by.
love to do that one.
All right. And
And then
then
after that
what
one,
would
maybe we
you
should
like?
do like another one from one of the more nuanced. I mean, one of the maybe like an artist that like is not like I don't know, maybe like another '90s album that could be cool. I would like the idea of like doing a tragically hip album at some point along the line. I think that could be really fun.
Well, I want to save that for like a later one, maybe like so we can have like an anniversary type thing. When did we start
Yeah.
this? We've been doing this so often, I've kind of forgotten when we actually started.
We started it in May or June. I have to check the date, but I can check the date on the first live show. I think it was June. No, you know what? It was June because it was the same week that my album released.
Okay. All
Yeah, it
right.
was June that we started this in.
All right. So next Monday then, all right?
Yeah. Oh, what's your shirt say? I didn't get to see it. Was
Oh,
it? Is it?
it's Guns N' Roses. It's
Oh,
Appetite for
nice,
Destruction.
very nice. Guns N' Roses. Cool.
Hey, that could be a
Yeah.
no,
You still have your Pink
no.
Floyd shirt?
I do, but I'm just not wearing it right now.
Nice.
I didn't plan that far.
I do not have a Pink Floyd shirt, but I have shirts from several other artists. Bruce Hornsby, Indigo Girls. I want to get a Jacob Collier shirt. I'm obsessed with Jacob Collier now.
Oh, really? Now that you've heard it,
Yeah. What?
what's his style more like? Is it?
Oh, he's awesome. He's just all over the place. This new album, it's got jazz, it's got like a cappella, it's got like more of a pop ballad. It's got like a Michael Jackson-esque, like really macabre, cool. It's got this great song called "In My Bones," and it's very Michael Jackson-y. And the music video is fantastic for it too. It really reminded me of Michael Jackson.
Interesting. I
would say I'm probably going to review it for something or write a review on it because I really love it.
I wouldn't have. Wait a minute. Is I hate to pry, but is Jacob African American or is he white?
No, he's white, but he collaborates with a lot of African. Well, actually, he's British, so they're not African American. They're just black musicians.
Oh well, that's fine. Yeah, I think we tend to forget that black people can come from all over, so can white people. I mean,
yeah.
And what's so bad about having two different walks of life collaborate? I mean,
absolutely, it's really great, and I mean, it happened with Bruce Hornsby too, and their music is only just the better for it. I mean, including black musicians only makes their music a lot better. Doesn't drag it down at all. It makes it better.
Sometimes I think we forget that people are people. I mean,
wise words.
At the end of the day, you still have certain traits that we all share.
You know what? I can't believe it. Maybe it was just because of all the actually talking about. This actually turned out to be one of our longest album reviews, even though the album itself is only like 5 songs long. But
well, it's got so much to discover. You know what's funny though? I found out we were actually you were born in 2003 too, right?
Yes.
We were born in the year of the sheep. In the Chinese calendar, yeah.
And my brother was born in the year of the dog, so yeah. Well, maybe.
Oh, that's going to be a conflict of interest.
I don't know. Was he born in the year of the dog? I don't know. What year is it right now?
You forget what year?
No, I know it's 2020. I'm talking about what Chinese zodiac year is it?
Oh, I don't know. I just know because I've read it in a book one time. The year of the sheep was 2003, and I said, "Oh, that was the year I was born." So
we're sheeple.
Sheeple. Oh wait, maybe it was the month that it was.
No,
maybe it's because
in the zodiac system, it is always years. The months are reserved for like the signs. Like for example, I'm a Leo because I was born in August. So like if you have anybody tell you like a Gemini or a Sagittarius or a Scorpio, those are the months. And then the years are always animals.
Hey,
but the month
we just connected back.
Because I was born in August. What?
We just connected back.
We did.
Get it?
What happened?
You just talked about animals. So
animals. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There we go. Back to the point. Back to the larger point.
Now I'm curious what my sign is, but I can figure that out.
What is after Leo? What is it if you're born in September? I don't know. I think you're gonna have to look that one up. It's something cool. They all have cool names. You might be a Sagittarius. That's like my favorite in terms of how the name sounds.
Hold on.
Scorpio September? No, Scorpio.
I'm apparently I'm a Virgo.
You're a Virgo. Oh yeah. Virgo comes after Leo. I forgot about that. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, my birthday is going to be in a week.
Well, 17. Happy birthday in advance. I'm excited. We'll get to do a special birthday show for you.
Well, it'll be a little It'll be definitely early because my birthday's on the 17th, so, and that's a Thursday, but
Okay, well, we'll have an early birthday show for you on Monday.
I'll bring like a hat or something, or like one of those,
Birthday boy.
whatchamacallits.
Yeah,
I don't know
it'll be
what it's
fun.
called. All right, so what idea would you like for number 13? Because I know for number 12 we are going to do 4. I mean,
If you wanted to
tossed around
do,
a few ideas.
there's a couple. I mean, if you were up for doing a Tragically Hip album, there's definitely a couple that we could do that I feel like you would really like.
Well, I only have one, so
True.
it's kind of
So
tough
I
for
can give you
me.
the links for all of them. Don't worry, I know where all of them are online. But there's a couple that really stand out. Fully Completely, Day for Night, Phantom Power, Music at Work, In Violet Light. That's the one that you have. World Container is an amazing one.
I'm gonna see what other like '90s seminal '90s albums I have. I think I have. We did the Razor's Edge already, so that's covered.
Yeah. Or we could do Rush. I forgot about that one too.
Oh yes,
Although they weren't
Rush.
90s, they were more like
Would you like to do
80s and
Rush?
70s. What?
Would you like to do Rush? Would you
I'd
be
love to
okay
do
with
Rush.
that?
That'd be fun. Yeah. We could
I
do,
mean,
what's the one?
we get a lot of upvotes for that one. We'd get a lot of upvotes for that,
We
especially.
would. We certainly would. We could put the Rush and Tragically Hip against each other and see what wins. Well, I guess we can do that once the time comes, because for right now we're just going to go ahead with our Huey Lewis album, and that'll be your early birthday show.
Okay. All right.
I'm
Well,
excited,
thank you
especially
all
since
for watching, all 2 of you.
Yeah, thank you for watching. It's all right. There were more people watching earlier. It's okay.
Okay. Wait, did they drop out after we rambled on?
Probably.
Oh, that's another one.
It is fine.
I'm just thinking of so many ideas. There's so many ones that I haven't shown you and you haven't shown me that we can try, but
So many albums? Yeah.
But that'll come when it comes. So
Absolutely.
all right. Well, I hope you have a good night.
You too, Peyton. Thanks.
See ya.
Goodbye.
It's been fun.
Have a great week.
Yeah, you too. Well, hopefully I'll see you on one of the opposite days. I don't know. One of the days we are,
Hopefully.
I don't know, virtual learning. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know how
That's
this
it for
is.
animals.
All right. Bye.
Peyton signing off. Bye.